Hi guys, welcome back to my cave. This is Diana with Creativity Inc. And today I wanted to start off our video or your class or lesson or show with some things that got in the mail. Played was kind enough to send me a box of goodies, and I like, you guys know that I use their product already, so like kind of they don't, I just love the company. I love that their craft supplies are available for us, like people that craft but don't have that much money. So I love, or you like to, I don't know, but I like the new colors that they sent me. I didn't have them, and I was very proud. Happy that I got these because it helped my with the craft that I was working on for this week. So you guys, I've shown you how I dye my paper. I usually um, make it in a ball and put it in water with acrylic paint. I don't use, well, I do the tea dyeing and the coffee dyeing, but mostly I use acrylic colors. I feel like it's a little bit more vibrant, and I don't know, I like the using them. And so what I do is I make a ball of paper and I leave it like that so it will dry in that ball of paper. And when I double dip the paper, then I'll leave it like that, and then I'll go back and dip it in another color. There's a video on that, and I'll link it down below or up in the screen. Well, you guys saw that I first did the paper that's gonna go in the journal, but now I'm gonna tell you what I did to the cover. So to first start it off, I gave it a light coat of Mod Podge. I feel like it's kind of like a primer sort of in a way. So what I'm about to do has something to grab onto. You know what I mean? So I gave it a light coat on both sides of the covers. Okay, once it's dried, you guys seen me do this method before, where I grab some air drying clay and I mix it up with glue or Mod Podge. In this case, I'm going to use Mod Podge. I've never used it with Mod Podge, but I feel like it's going to work great. I've used Elmer's glue before, so I feel it's going to be the same. Anyways, so what I do is I make like this pasty sort of air clay to so that it attaches to the cover really well. So it allows me to mold it, and then also to avoid cracks and to be able to be really thin. When you use air clay without like nothing, it's kind of like, well, the ones I've used, I don't know if there's better ones out there, but I always use the Crayola. That's because I feel like a craft project shouldn't be that expensive, and for me, in my purpose, my kids grab my stuff all the time, especially my 5-year-old. So, I get to be less upset when she grabs my crafts that were not that expensive. So, I came to the realization I have to grab stuff that are not gonna hurt me when she grabs them, and she does this all the time. So, and sometimes, I use this clay because just it's familiar to me. That's what I did from the beginning, and so I think that's part of why I use it as well, just because it's something that I've always just, okay, so if I'm gonna do something, I just go for it. So once I do like a thin sort of like coat, not a thick one. It's like very thin. It's like barely on there. And I smear it onto really good. I don't need it to be smooth. I don't need it to be even at all. It's going to be the texture that I'm going for is going to be rugged itself. So to add the texture, I'm going to do half and half because I don't want the clay to dry up, then crack, or like, lift that residue up when you're carving it. So I'm going to use it as I want to do like not wooden field, but more like a tree trunk kind of feel, like a well, yeah, like a tree door, like if it was it's gonna be like a magical door kind of treat the magical I don't know, forest. So I'm going for that vibe of wood and door. So I wanted it to be rough, and I wanted it to be, given that wood grain kind of feel. So once I did that with my knife, or you can do it with any tool, I go back with, I think I'm using water. Yeah, I think I grabbed some of my water, my drinking water, or no, it was my Mod Podge. I don't know if it was water or Mod Podge, whatever I have in hand, and I just smooth out the cuts, because even if I was because I was, even when that I was trying to avoid, that lift of material on the side of the cut, it still, some of it came up. So I just use either Mod Podge or water, and it brings it back down. But see how thin I use it, and then when I apply it, I even thin it out even more. I'm just applying this for texture's sake, for texture only. So there's no structural need or anything. I'm putting glue so that it doesn't crack off, and I'm putting I pre-glued it just because of the same purpose. I didn't want it to crack off or anything like that. I repeat the same process on the other half of the cover, and I just do the same, pretty much the same thing. I put half of it, then I go back with my knife. It's a wooden knife, and I make the grooves. Then I go back with my water or Mod Podge and smooth out those edges and get rid of whatever residues come off of it. And what I do at the bottom is make it more like broken door, like a vintage or antique, um, you know, old door. So that's what I'm doing. I'm bringing out some of that material out a little bit, so it gives you that broken door feel on the bottom and on the top. I don't do it as much, I think, on the bottom than what I do on the top. I think I do end up doing it more on the top. But let me say something that I forgot to cover. I didn't score it with my knife before applying it on the first cover. I messed up. I, children do as I say, not as I do. So I did do it on the back part, but please don't forget to do that. Score um, the cover so that the clay won't want to come off. I mean, I kind of covered my bases by, priming it. I mean, with the glue, and then applying extra glue on the clay. But still, scoring it would have been more beneficial, and it would definitely ensure that no material would come off of the covers. After I've done that, both covers, I went back and applied, I think, two, maybe even three layers of black paint. That's my undertone. Well, not my undertone, but before I move on to my next project, I want to make sure that all the gesso is painted over and that it looks very even. So my next product that I'm gonna apply on it, is called Solar Color Dust. I ordered this online, and that's their website. It's something new that I'm trying. You guys are seeing me trying it for the first time, and it came with this goodie bag. It came with this hippo glitter and some little spatulas. I love free stuff. I love, love, love when a product goes out of the way to do free stuff. I try to do that with my online orders on our my husband's and I's website orders, and customers do appreciate it. They always make sure they thank me for it, as I am going to thank the Color Dust for their freebie. I ordered a sample pack, and they give you 10 little pouches inside the pouch, so you're able to pick what colors you want and what temperature. So you can the temperature activation that I went with is from black to the pink, from black to purple, from black to aqua at 86 degrees. So if I touch it on a hot day, or if you touch it with your hands, it's going to change color. So what I am doing here is going to try two different ways of doing it, and see if one of them works. So my first approach is going to be mixing it up with Mod Podge. And the way I'm going to do that is um, applying a thin layer of Mod Podge. Sort of, I'm gonna use it like if it was glue. So I mean, not glue, obviously glue, but what's it called? Glitter, 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 glitter. So I'm going to put the Mod Podge first, a little thin coat, and then I'm going to put the powder. I'm gonna yes, I'm gonna do that. I know you shouldn't put wet stuff in there. I know, ladies. I know you guys are probably screaming, "Don't do that, you know." I know, I know. But I was playing with it, so it's all right. As long as you're having fun, right? No, ladies, don't do it. Don't do as do or do as I say. So, um, maybe if I would have like poured some in, that would have been the same. But I don't know. I was being risky, and so my daughter wanted to help. She's like, "I'll hold it for you." I'm like, "No, mommy, it's okay." So I did that. I ended up doing this technique, and I felt like it worked. I did that. I started from the aqua on top, then I did purple. I mean, no, then I did pink, then I did purple at the bottom. It's kind of like a blend. So because I'm gonna do it as the paint is still not dried on top, so I want to blend it at the when the colors connect. So it kind of looks like a blend. It's not a unicorn. I mean, it's not a rainbow because it's not a rainbow, but it's kind of like a rainbow. Do you know what I mean? So I'm doing that. Just go along with it. So I'm gonna do these three colors that I think look cute, and they remind me of a unicorn. I mean, let's face it, also reminds me of a mermaid, but reminds me of unicorn. We are in JUNI-CORN month, so I wanted to finish off the month by participating in the JUNI-CORN art pieces. So this is my JUNI-CORN art, not art, craft. Is it craft? Is it art? I think it's a little bit of both. But so this is what I'm doing for JUNI-CORN month to celebrate it. And so, yeah, I hope you like it. Okay, so a part of the cover is going to be I want to make these elaborate hinges, kind of doohickeys. And for me to do that, I wanted to use foam. I was going to use cardboard, but I wanted to give it a chance, I wanted to try foam. And I think it worked great. I really liked how it looked. But I have this big piece of foam, and I'm going to use Mod Podge to glue it together. And so that it's not, because this foam is really thin. We use it to kind of protect the corners of the canvases here at the in the shop, and so I think it's a little too thin for what I want to do. And after cutting and drawing for days, this is the hinge design that I came up with. It's gonna be folded, and not folded, yes, folded, and in half. And so this half of it's gonna be in the front, half of it's gonna be in the back. And I used the gold brush, antique gold brush that came in the box with plate. I gotta say, you guys see me use gold before, and I really like this one. I think this is gonna be my favorite gold from now on. My favorite part was that I felt that this paint was thicker than before. I don't know if they changed their formula or improved it. I'm sure they do. Big companies like Plate always wanna improve on themselves, and so I just gotta say that the paint was a lot thicker. It was easier to apply. It was smoother. It was like butter. So I don't know. I really like it. I really like this color and this new and also I think I've never seen this jar before, so I think it's also new. But anyway, so I'm gonna glue it. You guys know I use my little glue thingy, and I'm gonna glue the front and the back. Remember to let it dry folded. I always let them dry either folded or almost folded, so it gives me that flexibility. And these are all the papers that I acrylic dyed. I'm gonna call it acrylic dye. Ooh, that's a good name. Okay, I'm gonna acrylic dyed all these colors, so um, you guys are about to see me fold a million pieces of paper. Just kidding. I did 10 per color, thinking I was cool. I've never dyed 10 pink papers in my life. Well, I think I did for like flowers, but man, it was a lot. And after the folding of the colors, I liked how it came out. I like how, there's different colors and texture. I love the texture on paper. I love, love, love texture on paper. And I was happy how they came out. I was very excited actually to see my pile of the pink, purple, aqua, and yellow. And when I saw the big pile folded, it's ginormous. I was not, um, I don't know, I didn't calculate at all. I feel like I always underestimate, like my folders always thinner because I feel like I'm always filling them up with so much. So I always put very thin paper because I over ephemera the book. And so, but this time I didn't like go over. I like went over of the amount of paper I prepared for this book. But anyways, so I have this paper from Recollections. I think it's a Michael's brand, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use it. It has the same colors, and I like how it kind of like blends one to another. I didn't want a solid color for the inside cover, so as I was looking for my scrapbook paper, I saw this and I was like, OM to the G, this is perfect. I wish, to be honest, like I wish, how it dissipates to like white in the center. I wish it was yellow. I think that would have been perfect. And then the flowers white. I actually wish it had no flowers, but we can all be beggars. Wait, not choosers, but beggars. Beggars, not choosers. Whatever. You guys know what I mean. So I was going to do the lazy tear, but I was like, no, I am being watched. So to be honest, I should have grabbed my ruler and cut it with my knife, but I think one of the little hands got to my knife, and it's been hot here in California, so they've been doing the icicles ice cream, and they use my knife to cut it open. I get so upset because they can cut themselves, but most of all, they're grabbing my stuff. So, but now it's lost, and none of the children seem to know where it's at. When I have all my crafts tools in the same spot all the time, and now you're telling me that they're grabbing it, they didn't know, they didn't do it. It wasn't them. It wasn't them at all. They didn't grab it. They didn't see it. Oh man, I've heard the stories. Anyways, sorry for the ranting. But I did it. I have a front and a back inside cover thingamajiggies, people. It looks cute, huh? Do you guys like it? Let me know. Let me know if I was crazy. What would you have done? Would you have done it differently? What kind of paper would you have used? Would you have, another consideration I did was to do black, like also black in the inside. I actually grabbed a piece of black paper, but I was just like, no, it's supposed to be like a unicorn. I want this book to scream out unicorn without having a unicorn in it. Do you know what I mean? Did it scream out unicorn to you? Um, so I'm I don't know where I got this fabric from. To be honest, I think you know what I think it is. I think it's that backing to the fabric that they like a seamstress would put on there to sew like thin material. I think that's what it is. I am not sure. I don't even know how I have it or where I grabbed it from. The fact is, I am very grateful I have it, and I'm very lucky that I have it. So I'm going to use it. I marked the area where the spine goes so that I can put my signatures. I recently got a long staple, like one of those very thin, like, I think they might be called signature staples. Yeah, I think so, or magazine staples, because I don't see any other use for it except that. Do you see what I mean? So I wanted to make a binding of this. I feel like it's going to be super easy and fast. So today I'm about easy and fast. Um, I feel like it was clean. So there. I first staple the center. Ooh, I just noticed it's gonna vibrate the bejesus out of the camera. I am truly sorry about that. I totally forgot about that. So now that I'm centering it, I first did the center stable because I didn't want the papers to shift while I'm adjusting on the sides. So it was just easy for me to do it. Not that I'm lazy, I'm just easy. You know what I mean? Like shortcuts. So I do that with all of the signatures. I want to keep on using same magazines. I know they're not magazines, they're signatures, but for me in my head, it's just same magazine. It's simple, like a little magazine. But I don't see signature. Like for me, signature is like you sign it. You know what I mean? Anyhow, uh, so once I try to divide the little space I have between the four signatures so that they're not too shifted to one side or the other. Also, I want to have space to make it flow naturally between the two signatures, and so that it looks coherent. And at the same time, you flip between. I don't want to see the white. So there's a lot of things got to think about. You know what I mean? I mean, I know it's not space science or whatever, but you know what I mean. You want it to look nice and cute, especially with these beautiful fluffy colors. Oh, talking about fluffy colors, do you guys like my nail polish color? I feel like it's going with the theme a little bit, but at the same time, it looks like something's wrong with my nails, and they're like, I need to get them fixed because they got some fungicide in there. I don't know, but I like to use a white nail polish, but in the screen, it looks like I'm wearing white out. I'm not wearing white out. It's just, I don't know. I feel like I struggle with color of nail polish. So earlier, you guys saw me, I was wearing gold nail polish. My husband picked out that color. I kind of like it, but it's still like, it doesn't, I don't feel confident in gold. You know what I mean? Like I like the white one, but it's kind of like it's a soft white. It's not a white, but in the screen, as you guys can imagine, it looks brighter. So it looks like I'm wearing like white out. Or is it just me? Did you guys see me with nail polish and thought it was like a white out kind of look? Let me know what you guys think. I don't know. It's important because I do this for you, for the fans. Just kidding. No, I do it for to share the fun stuff that I do. But at the same time, I don't want to be like, oh my gosh, she's wearing whiteouts. And maybe it's just me. But anyways, so when I'm done, I'm gonna glue this. I think I've seen this binding before. So I don't know if there's a name for it. I'm just gonna call it what makes sense in my head. The staple binding like piece. I know I've seen it with stitches, and I'm almost sure I've seen it with staples too. So, and I'm sure if I saw it, it was probably named like staple binding. I do another staple binding kind of method with the cable staple, but you guys didn't see me what I did, so sorry about that. There's a jump, but my phone died. I filmed with my phone, in case you didn't know. I went on and did all my project, and I didn't finish it. So after I did my staples, and you guys saw me doing all this, but I went back and I just glued the piece, and I just glued in the two ends, the front and the back. And I'm going to go back with that mixture that I do with a little bit of brown, a little bit of black, a little bit of coffee water, and I'm gonna apply it all over. I'm gonna antique the antique gold. You guys know what I mean. So I like that I leave some of it darker, some of it lighter, just as it would. Does it look like a door to you guys? Because that was kind of what I was going for, to make it look like one of those Magic Garden door look-alike. Oh, you know what? I didn't like that hook on the top. Now that I'm looking at it, don't do the hook on the top before. It looks kind of weird. And those little spike thingies, I was going for hearts. They don't look like hearts, do they? Anyhow, and look, it's so uneven. Like now that I'm looking at all my, it's so funny now that I see. If you guys, for those of you that do YouTube videos, when you see yourselves later, like, do you guys laugh at yourself? Because I'm like, what the heck? I do work on these videos sometimes late at night, and I'm like halfway asleep, or I'm like dealing with kids on the side, fighting or screaming. And so yeah, what I'm going to do, I wanted to put some like screw heads on the heart shaped thingies, but I feel like it's gonna be a big contrast in material, so I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to have a big contrast, because then it's more apparent that one is a real material and one is not. Do you know what I mean? Like one is metal and one is foam, and it's gonna be very apparent. And I didn't want that contrast, and I didn't want it to look that way. So I have these little gold rings from a bracelet that broke, and I kept them because I feel like I would have used them later, which I am now. So I keep it in a little jar. I have a little sewing kit, little box that you guys saw me painting on my first video on YouTube ever, and I have two. So I have little jars of just little doohickeys that help me put stuff together sometimes. And what I'm doing is I'm going back with the 3D foam paint, shirt paint thingy. You guys saw the title. And I'm gonna use that as the glue, but also as a screw head of the door thingy. So I'm gonna go back with the gold once it's all glued, said and done. I'm gonna go back and rub a little bit of gold on the edges and here and there, just to bring that texture up of the tree trunk or wood grain kind of thing. And so there you guys have it. But here's a test. Ciao! Look how pretty that looks. Isn't it a beautiful teal color? And here's the inside. I made this thing, but it was looking like a kid craft, rather than like, I don't know, I was going for magical, and even though I said magic, it wasn't looking magical to me. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you guys liked it. If you know, this was probably like not as elaborate as I have done before in the past, but I hope you guys liked it. I hope it was some to your enjoyment. And if you guys do, please consider giving it a thumbs up. It really does help me, motivates me in my heart to go out there and do better, do more for you guys, for the craft, community. I love the craft community, people. You guys are so encouraging. You guys are always giving me nice comments, and it just makes me smile and makes my day, and I really do appreciate it. All those nice comments, I read them, sometimes sooner, sometimes later, but I do read them and I do appreciate them. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing to my channel. Oh, I'm gonna do this, the signature part of the book, the maker's label. I glue this spine from an old book that I had there, but since it's the same color, I'm gonna use it as a tuck spot or tuck place for my for the back. And because I had this little piece extra of that paper, so I'm gonna just tuck that in there. But I also did the signature box or signature label, like what I call it, maker's label, on that little thing. I think it's just add something to it. Always please remember to sign your books, date them, thank you guys so much. Till next time, stay happy, stay crafting. Bye.